You know, I have one simple request, and that is to have sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads.
Gamera is really neat. Gamera is filled with meat. We've been eating Gamera.
Welcome! Don't mind me, I'm just eating a little bit of turtle. I am the Kaiju no Kami, and tonight's review is Gamera vs. Zigra. Gamera was cheap and easy to make, so Daiei kept making them. However, a few months after the release Gamera vs. Zigra, they declared bankruptcy, and that brought an end to the Gamera saga for that current point in time. This final movie in the original series pitted Gamera against a shark-like alien creature who was hell-bent on devouring humans while he resided in the oceans he had planned to steal for himself. With that said, let's move on to the movie. Our movie kicks off with a huge chunk of exposition telling us the Earth has now mastered space travel and a base on the moon has been established. So basically this movie is ripping off Destroy All Monsters. A spaceship appears and destroys the base. Well, that was pointless. From here we meet Kenichi Ishikawa, played by Yasushi Sakagami.
テレビばっかり気にしてないで。早く歯を磨きなさいったら。はーい。シャチプールのシャチだってちゃんと歯を磨くわよ。このシーワールドのシャチは去年はるばるカナダから空を越えてこのプールにやってきました。
Wait, what happened? Why are we watching dolphins suddenly?
まあ、ちゃんと口をよすぎなさい。シャチだってちゃんとよすぐわよ。
Okay. Again? Helen and Margie Wallace are also introduced to us, with Gloria and Arlene Zollner playing these two sisters.
ニューヨークで入院してるママの写真にキスしていかないの？シャチだってキスぐらいするわよ。さあ、トレーナーにお別れのキスをして。二人とも先生の言うことを聞いて、ちゃんと遊戯をしなくちゃダメよ。
アシカのマストレーニングでも見習いなさいって言うんだろ。
その通り。
さあ、アシカくんたちの体操競技です。
Oh my god, another cutaway? Was this movie written by Seth MacFarlane? I feel like I'm watching an episode of Family Guy. Or an online review puppy!
My master made me this collar. He is a good and smart master, and he made me this collar so that I may talk. Squirrel!
Later on, the kids' dads Yosuke and Tom are investigating an area of the ocean that is polluted when they discover that Kenichi and Helen have followed them.
君の奥さんも健忘症じゃない？いや、確かに入れるとか見たんだよ。僕もそうなんだ。なあ、やっぱり健一、無断でボートに乗っちゃいかんっていつも言ってるじゃないか。
The kids see a spaceship and then the movie cuts to another scene.
未確認飛行物体発見。海中へ突入。
The jelly bean ship hides in the ocean while Gamera starts flying overhead.
まあやね、あんな怪獣。カメラは子供の味方なんだぞ。どうかしら。
You live in Japan and you don't know who Gamera is? Have you been living under a rock this entire time? The ship blasts our characters with a beam that teleports them into a ship where they are greeted by a strange woman.
ジグラ線の宇宙船へようこそ。この大宇宙には地球人類が足元にも及ばぬほど高度な科学文明の発達した生物がたくさんいるのです。
やっぱりこのお姉さんは宇宙人だよ。
一体何の目的で我々を？
I'm just gonna pose like this.
我が惑星ジグラの科学文明がいかに優れているか、その証人になってもらいます。
To prove she is being honest with them, she programs an earthquake to occur in Tokyo, and we are treated to a lesson on what magnitude means.
マグニチュードって何？
地震の大きさを表すんでね。わかりやすく言うと。
I'm starting to think the writers of this movie have a hard time focusing. We are treated to more exposition about the Zigra planet dying and that the Earth is the perfect substitute. The woman snaps her fingers, which freezes the two dads, and then the kids run circles around her and she, freezes too. The kids put their fathers into the boat and know exactly what button is used to return them to the beach. Upon returning, the kids ditch their dads and run into a weirdly dressed guy that makes them think this.
お前たち、そこで何をしちゃう？
しまった。中3から逃げるときに僕たちはカゴの世界へ来てしまったんだ。そんなことあんの？タイムトラベルと言ってね。実は僕たち1971年から時間旅行して来ちゃったんです。
Oh my god. These kids are as bright as coal.
じゃあおじさん、今一体いつなの？
昭和46年。
They report what happened to the military and the kids end up going on tangents that have nothing to do with the situation.
ではジグラ星人について。
日本人と同じだったよ。
ジグラ星人が女性？
でもうちのママの方が綺麗だわ。いや、僕のママの方が綺麗だよ。いいえ、うちのママよ。いや、僕のママさ。
ジグラ星人の特殊能力などは？
うちのお父さんはすごい特殊能力があるんだ。ご飯を食べながらおならをするんだ。あれ特殊能力だ。
Well, okay, I will give them credit here because that is something children would do. They would just go out on tangents.
では元に戻って宇宙船の中の様子をもう少し詳しく。
大したことないよね。でもこの部屋の方が最低ね。サービス悪いわね。ジュースくらい出してもいいのに。
Although I am wondering if Helen actually knows what she is saying, or is it just like words to her and everyone else is just acting like she is doing a good job and everything. Planes are launched to attack Zigra's ship, but we all know the outcome of this one. Zigra sends a servant out to kill the kids, and she first goes on the hunt in a bikini. Soon, she finds people staring at her and changes. Duh. She finds the kids and a Scooby-Doo chase ensues. You know what? I give up. I give up! I'm not sure which is worse, the chase or the music itself, but I give up. Just go on. Just continue without me. Why are you still here? Go! Vamos, shoo, sayonara. What? I told you to finish the movie on your own. Why are you still here? Go! Go, bye, bye. You can finish the movie on your own. The rest is just going to do itself. Why are you still here? You're not going to go unless I finish this review, are you? Alright, fine, let's continue. The alien genius is outwitted by a bunch of kids while Gamera destroys the spaceship. Zigra is set free. Gamera, stares at him as he swims around and grows big. The fight ends up above the waves onto land where Zigra sprouts legs between cuts.
Are those sharks with laser beams attached to their heads? Cool! have frickin' sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their frickin' heads?
Gamera passes out, falling into the ocean head first. Yosuke and Tom are released from their trances and find the kids just in time to save them from the space woman, who turns out to also be under the mind control of Zigra. She reveals herself as Sugawara and explains that she was stationed on the moon base before it was attacked. Once again, everyone is flustered until the kids remind them that Gamera can save them.
人類を救う方法はついに発見できんのですね。
おじさんたち、人間はダメでもガメラがいるよ。ガメラならきっとジグラに勝てるよ。
しかしだね、現在海の中であんな風に逆さまになってしまってるんだよ。司令官、藁にもすがる思いかもしれませんが、ガメラの生死をまず確かめたらどうでしょう。
Tom and Yosuke take out a bathyscape to see if Gamera is still alive. How they figure this, I don't know. When you can just push him over, he is in the water. Nothing is actually keeping him on his head other than he's keeping himself on his head. He is not dead. Have you not seen it before? When he has fallen onto his back, he can fly out of that situation. Surprise, surprise! Helen and Kenichi have snuck onto the bathyscape, which is meant to add more drama to the scene when Zigra attacks them. Their air is leaking out and the military commander tries to offer a full surrender of the Earth as long as he doesn't hurt them. I'm not kidding either.
人類は降伏する。バチスカーフを君の手で陸上まで運んでくれたまえ。以上だ。
You know, I don't think I really want to live in a universe where people, especially just some random military commander, is gonna surrender the whole world for a couple of kids. This seems to happen like on a yearly basis. Wasn't there a movie where they talked about the difference between a couple people versus the entire world?
The needs of the many outweigh
the needs of the few.
Negotiations falter and Zigra shoots the bathyscape with his beam. A thunderstorm emerges and shocks Gamera back to consciousness. He, plays Metal Gear in order to rescue the bathyscape. I just figured something else. This movie is actually meant to be a parody of other kaiju movies. Because there's no way anyone would write this movie to be in this manner if it wasn't trying to just be a parody. It makes so much more sense now. Wow, this is not meant to be serious. It's meant to be a parody. Oh, that explains so much. Alright? Right? Anyway, Gamera returns the bathyscape to the surface. It is discovered that Zigra's beam stopped all cellular activity, so the group is alive and well upon being woken up. The final battle between Gamera and Zigra begins with Zigra slashing Gamera's shell. For a minute there, I thought he was going to give him the mark of Zorro. Once again, the fight is taken to land. Gamera starts to play Zigra like a xylophone. Before making barbecue shark for dinner. Oh man, I burned him. Gamera takes off and the movie ends, but not before giving us an environmental message.
海を汚してはいかん。いいかい、ケンイチ。怪獣ジグラは地球のこの美しい海に憧れて命をこの美しい海を地球人が自分たちの手で汚したりしたら人類の恥だぞ。
thus bringing an end to what has to be the worst Gamera movie at this point in time. Nothing could be worse, right? 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 I'm not sure where to even start with this one. The plot is boring and generic. There is no way in hell Daiei was really trying to make a standard Gamera movie. This one has to be a parody because none of it is written in any manner that would make sense. The constant jump cuts to other stuff just doesn't fit, as it is the only movies in the series to do that. Maybe this was going to be the case for the movies after it had Daiei not declared bankruptcy. As is, it is distracting and annoying. The characters are bland, and at this point we have been getting the same characters over. At least the adults had some importance this time around, even if it wasn't much. Now, like I said before, I do give them credit for having the kids just go off on random tangents like children do. That aside, everything else is just stupid. If we were supposed to feel sorry for Sugawara, then the writers failed. We don't really see anything worthy of her character that makes us want to care whether or not she was brainwashed by Zigra. The effects are pretty awful too, with nothing memorable in the slightest, especially the opening moon base. Those miniatures were just flat out terrible. Speaking of miniatures, there weren't much of them given that Zigra was a water monster, so most of the time he was confined to the ocean. The green screen poster looking scenes return, and they probably look at their worst in this entry. There are lines running down and across the background as if the screen had been folded and no one bothered to iron it out before they started filming. As such, it just looks flat out ugly. Gamera's design is the same, but the actions he was scripted to do felt not very monster-like. The stealth bit was just so incredibly dumb. Who was the moron that came up with that idea? Fortunately, I really dig Zigra. He is an alien shark, and it made him kind of unique in that sense. He isn't as memorable as Giran, but he is better than Jiger and Gyaos from a design standpoint. On the other hand, the fact that he just happens to be able to walk on land was out of place due to the way it was presented. Kikuchi returns once more to record the film's score, but honestly, it doesn't seem like he has done much in the way of anything new. The Gamera theme is there, but all the music seems to just be a rehash of what we had in the previous two outside of maybe a piece or two. Thankfully, his scores aren't painful to hear as some other Kaiju scores were that year. What more can I say about this movie that hasn't already been said for the last few reviews? You will either love it because you love the other movies, or you will hate it because you hate the other movies. There is nothing more, nothing less. End of story. Until next time, bye.